In this video, we're going to be talking about the new mouse from ZOWIE being the EC2-DW. As we know, they've refreshed it before in the CW, now with the DW, and a lot of us are very familiar with the ZOWIE EC mouse. It is my favorite mouse, hands down, so I am definitely going to nerd out in this video. But if any of you are very familiar and you don't want to sit through all of my heat signatures, the raw measurements, and the weight, which are definitely good tests, the build quality and stuff, what they did update here is slightly better battery life. I think it's about 10 hours. You now have up to 4,000 polling rate, and then they also reduced the weight a bit. So again, if that's all you wanted to know, I hope that was able to help you out, and I hope I see you for the next video. But again, if you want to see me nerd out on my favorite mouse, heck, y'all know I've been using the Pulsar X Lite quite a bit. That's been my main mouse for a long time now. Short and sweet to the point. This is now my main mouse. So in this video, you're going to see all my testing on this, and you'll see me comparing it a lot to the Pulsar X Lite. So I hope this video is able to help you out. So buckle up. Let's do some tests. Now, even though I always start off with measurements, I'm super excited to check the weight of this. We know ZOWIE mice have always been a little bit heavy, but let's go on and put the new one on the scale here. We're coming at 59.5. Let's just call this a flat out 60 grams. And let me tell you what, this is perfectly balanced front to back. I mean, it feels amazing. And that 60 gram weight is, again, that sweet spot. That is what I like. I don't need anything lighter. I don't need anything heavy. 60 grams, again, for an ergo is perfect. Now, compare it up to the Pulsar X Lite over here. This is the V4, I believe. Yes, this is the newest one. And getting this on a scale, we're coming on right at 54 grams. So you're talking pretty close to like a 5 gram difference. And getting them both in the hand, yes, you can tell the Pulsar one is a pinch lighter. I'm talking minute difference here. Nothing really to write home about, but yes, you can tell the difference. But again, that 60 gram weight is just it's that sweet spot. Now I want to give you those raw measurements with the caliper here rather than just posting up manufacturer spec measurements. So we're going to compare it up to the Pulsar X Lite as well. But looking at the length here, trying to get it right front to back, we're getting, ooh, I'm kind of sliding to the side on the buttons here. Let's get it right there. We're pretty much right at that 121 and a half. Let's go and check up the length. I'm going to go back and forth one to the other here so we can see. So you're seeing pretty much spot on here, right? The other biggest measurement we're going to want to check is that hump right in the middle, which is right by the buttons and the sensor here. Let me make sure the top is on the center, right at that 42. And then let's go and check the ZOWIE. Again, spot on, right by the buttons, and then for the top, right at 42. And if we look at that grip width right down here, this is the lower portion of grip width. And this is going to be a harder measurement to get precisely on both of them to get it right in the same spot. But if we look right there, still pretty much spot on, right? Let's check the flare out back here by the skates. This is going to be, again, another hard one to get it right on the same curves. We're looking at 64 right there. If we get right back here by the skates back here, again, right at 64. And if you look at both of these mice just head on, like, I mean, they're a spit-in clone, right? Pulsar did copy the ZOWIE EC here. There's some differences as you're seeing with the buttons and such, which we'll talk about. But again, as far as shape, 1-to-1, the X Lite is an EC. And now for the heat signature test, which is really going to put those measurements into perspective and what I talked about as far as, again, the X Lite being an EC. And first I'm going to go on and get the EC in my hand right here, and you're going to see the heat transfer through as far as my grip that I use this on. And I kind of use this as a relaxed claw slash palm. Let's just say a relaxed palm where it's not fully in the back of my hand, right? I kind of hold it like this. You can see I don't put it in the back of my palm, but oh my gosh, it's so cozy. So let's go on and remove my hand, and you're going to see right there. So the back of my hand going over to the side, and then that nice flow up top. This is what I love about ergos. Like, it is so comfortable right up there. So now let me go on and get the Pulsar, and I'm going to hold this mouse how I would game with it. And again, just getting it 1-to-1 in the hand, like a spitting image, like to a T. Like, just look at that right there. Hopefully the heat can transfer over to this too here. Oh, we're freezing up in the camera. Let's get that out. Bam. Look at that. Like, it is exactly the same. We might be getting a little bit more over there. I don't know if I just gripped a little bit different, but again, as far as the core right up here, going over to the front buttons from the hump on the back, like a spitting image. Now, the cool thing about these mice is, yes, you can pull it back into that full palm, being with a medium or large hand. If you got a smaller hand, you might want to go with the EC3 whenever they release that. But anyways, taking this, bam, you can release it and take a look. You can get it all the way into the back of your palm there. Same thing with the X light over here. Bam, I can put it in the back of my hand. And again, it's just a spit-in clone one-to-one right here. Like, let me go on and release my hand and just look at that, right? I don't know if we still got the heat over here on the ZOWIE. Let me see if I can transfer some. Bam, there we go. Like, look at that, like a spitting image. You got that little gap right down here on the bottom. And now for the build quality test. And I pull out the force gauge meter for this. So we can press into the mouse and see if we've got any flex. We'll press it into pounds. So again, we just got a flat test across it. So I'm not saying, oh, I grip it like this, or I grip tighter than you, so on and so forth. We'll just press it in and see where we get some flex from. And this is the first time I ever do this. I don't do this in the background before I film or anything. And pressing over here on these side buttons, I mean, I'm going up to 17 pounds almost, and I'm not getting any flex over here on. There's no button actuation. If we come back here on the back by the hump, nothing there. And again, I'm going up to like 18 pounds, like holy moly. On this side, nothing. Up towards the front, nothing up there. Now, as far as the bottom, of course, every mouse is gonna flex, and it's right around 5 pounds where we start getting that flex on the bottom here. But if you're pressing your mouse on the bottom, you're using it wrong. Coming over here to the Pulsar one, again, on this side over here, up to 18, nothing on the back end, nothing there. Back on the hump, we are getting nothing back there as far as flex either. And then on the side, nothing over there. Now the Pulsar one, you got the cutouts on the bottom, but same deal, right around 5 pounds, you start getting them flex. Let me tell you what, both of these mice are built incredibly solid. Now you will hear some people out there talk about like the crunchy button issue on the Pulsar mice. And you know, I've tested so many Pulsar mice and I've never experienced that except recently, just like a couple weeks ago. I believe it was my right button that just got stuck and it just had a little bit of crunch. Now what I did is I kind of lifted it up and jiggled it and got it seated back in there, and now it's perfectly fine. So again, I don't know if that's the issue everyone else is having. That's just something I noticed. Again, I kind of had that crunchy stuck button, but again, after lifting it up and adjusting it, perfectly fine in there. Now going to ZOWIE mice, I think a reason we all buy ZOWIE mice is we know, again, they're solid top to bottom, inside and out. They're just build quality. They don't rush products out there, right? You're getting a top-notch, top-tier, complete product whenever they are released. But there's no question, both of these mice are built incredibly solid. Now let's get a quick sound test of these buttons. I'm gonna set my mic down in front of them and let's listen. Now, as we just had to listen to the buttons on both of these mice, I want to talk about them a little bit here as they are quite different. Number one, looking top down, you're going to be able to see some differences right out the gate as the Pulsar has kind of that standard, right, where you got the buttons right there, they're separated. Over here with ZOWIE, with their tried and true shape, it's kind of part of that rear shape and it goes right up to the front. So if you are one to kind of press up top, maybe above your scroll wheel, I think the Pulsar, again, you're going to feel better right there. When over here on the ZOWIE, you kind of got to come down a little bit closer to actually press them. But me personally, I'm using a big ergo mouse. I am always down pretty much in front, right in front of the scroll wheel. So perfectly fine. As far as feel of 1 and 2, as the ZOWIE, I'm not sure the switches. I believe Huano dot something, but I'm not 100% on that. They are mechanical. Over here on the Pulsar, they are optical. And I will tell you, these are a little bit firmer, a very slight amount. I do prefer mechanical switches. I stated that in all of my mice videos. But the Pulsar one, it's not bad. It's not like razor heavy by any means, you know. But again, I still prefer those nice kind of light yet crispy mechanical switches. And talking about light and crispy, it goes a little different here with the scroll wheel. ZOWIE, you still got that kind of loud, very tactile scroll wheel, which is great for FPS because you don't get any accidental swipes right there. It's just nice, crispy, and it holds its position. The Pulsar one, it's not bad by any means, but it is significantly lighter than the ZOWIE over here. And I would catch myself getting occasional, not often, but occasional miss swipes here, swiping over excess weapons or something like that. Now, one thing I do like a whole lot better on the Pulsar is the little gap within the side buttons. Now, Now both of these are nice, big, chunky side buttons, but I like that little gap in there so I can just feel it. Like if I'm sliding over, I'm like, okay, there's that gap. That's my back one. That's my front one. Over here with the ZOWIE, you catch yourself sometimes double taking it, right? Like, oh, am I on the front or am I in the back? Because it's a pretty smooth transition from one to the other. But the side buttons on the ZOWIE, oh my goodness, they are crispy as a button. Like seriously, these are some amazing side buttons. Same coming over here to the Pulsar. The buttons are great across both of these. But I think if we had like a mix here, like if we had this scroll wheel and then these side buttons with that gap right there, but yet with the mechanical switches, it would kind of be that perfect mix. So what I wish ZOWIE did is included a little bit of gap in their side buttons. Now, as far as performance on the new ZOWIE EC2-DW, it is absolutely flawless. And the majority of my time was used with the charging dock, or the station we'll call it, because that's where you get up to the 4,000 polling rate. And all of my time using this was in the 4,000 polling rate with the dock, even though you get the 1,000 polling rate dongle, which is really cool to get both of them right there. But again, I just use it with the dock because I love being able to charge it like that. It's that convenience. But again, 4,000 polling rate is perfect. It's flawless, butter smooth, no hiccups, no delays, no performance issues within my PC. We all know like 8,000 polling rate. People will say, oh, you need 8,000 polling rate. I think it's marketing fluff. I've mentioned it so many times. Like honestly, you're probably perfectly fine with 1,000 polling or 2,000, you know, but 4,000 just works flawlessly perfect for me. It does use a little bit more battery. I believe it's at 4,000 polling rate, you get up to 24 hours. And then if you leave it in a 1,000, you can get up to, I believe it's 70 hours. So yeah, it's going to drain your battery, as we all know. But again, talking that raw performance, like the 4,000 polling rate was flawless here. And using it with that charging dock is just awesome. It's convenient, so your product's always charged. So if you're using it at a higher polling rate, it really doesn't really matter as far as the battery life. Just set it there whenever you go get a snack or whatever like that, you know, and you're always going to have some juice. And the cool thing about the ZOWIE mice is, as we all know, everything can be adjusted right on it. Your motion sync, again, your DPIs, the polling rate, lift off distance with holding different buttons and such. Everything can be adjusted on it. So as I sit here and compare it a lot to the Pulsar X-Lite V4 that I'm using, it should really be compared to the Pulsar, is it their ES line? I forget, the one with the screen on the bottom where you can adjust it. That's really one-to-one comparison here, talking about everything being controlled on the ZOWIE mice. So talking about the Pulsar being 5 grams lighter, right, it's really not fair because it should be compared up to that one, because that's comparing apples to apples really, with everything being adjusted on it, even though the ZOWIE doesn't have the screen, which is super cool on the Pulsar ones, you know? So again, that's what I love about ZOWIE. It's that middle ground. It's not this shaved down lightweight mouse, but it's not packing all these accessories that you really don't need. Like as cool as that screen is, you really don't need it because you're not going to look at it that much, right? And the ZOWIE is right in between, just the perfect world of everything kind of mashed together with what you really need for that perfect gaming mouse. Now, as far as the new ZOWIE EC-DW mice, I'm not sure on the price, but I believe they're going to follow line with the other DW mice being 150 bucks. And again, just going back to the Pulsar one, talking about that, this is 99 bucks with the 1,000 polling rate, right? You get a lot more packed into here. Is that 4,000 worth that extra 50 bucks? Like on the Pulsar, I believe is it 20 or 30 bucks for the dongle, but that goes up to 8,000 polling rate, you know? And just talking about what you're getting here with the ZOWIE, like, I just love it. Why I love these mice and why I've always loved ZOWIE is, number one, they're the innovators of shape, right? Every mouse company copies ZOWIE shape, so you got to give them love right there. But the thing I love about it is ZOWIE mice really are what I am on this channel, right? I like a complete, finalized, flawless, just a perfect product, right? I don't need fluff. I don't need all this RGB or these crazy things on it or specs that I don't really utilize, right? This is everything I need, everything that I want, incredibly solid and complete, where I feel like I'm getting my money's worth. That's why I honestly love ZOWIE, you know, and this mouse is no different. This is my main mouse, and if you've ever wanted to try a ZOWIE mouse, you never tried one before, trust me, this is the time to try one. This mouse is absolutely perfect.